ladies and gentlemen, I would not deliver an academic speech, but only a sharing our experience in helping Palestinians. We all here have the same reason to come because we're concerned about Palestine and Palestinians. At the end of August, we had a special guest from Gaza. For the sake of their safety, I have to cover their identity. But the husband is a senior Muslim scholar who is respected by all Gazans. He is lecturing in Islamic University of Gaza. And the wife is a teacher in a middle school in Gaza. After enjoying their summer vacation in Indonesia, they traveled to some cities, to other cities, to promote Palestine and Masjid al-Aqsa. Then they came to the airport for flying back to Gaza. We had a very long queue, very long queue. People with their families, with big luggages, one by one, served by the guys on the counter of airlines. When their turn come, what happened? We had a very strong argue with the airline guys. They had a telex official news from Cairo Airport Authority that no one from Palestine are allowed to fly back to Palestine at that time because the border of Rafah still closed. What happened with them? Look, the husband is a senior Muslim scholar who is theoretically a tough guy, a Muslim scholar who is, used to be patient with all tests of his life. But at the time, even he said, no problem. But his face was upset. You may say, it's okay with you, but your emotion tells the truth. At that time, I saw something, and their selves are weakened, even die. Since that day, they came back to our house. They lost the appetite even to communicate. What kind of people who live without certainty in his life, in their lives? This is the very essence of occupation. When you don't have any certainty in your life, even if you want to return back to your home. So, day by day, we are waiting for the telex, the official telex from the Egyptian Airport Authority. One day, the airline told us, okay, they can fly today. So they fly at the 6th of September, just this month. Oh, we were very happy to release them. Ladies and gentlemen, this occupation is very severe for us, not only for Palestinians. We have been inviting many Palestinian scholars or figures to Indonesia to promote the Palestine and Masjid al-Aqsa. But there is a discrimination from the police or security authority. If I invite the super rock group from America, we don't have to get special permission from the police. But even if we invite one scholar from Palestine, from Gaza, we have to ask permission from the central office of the police. This is what happened in Indonesia, in Jakarta. In fact, not any event we had with all Palestinians has victims. But you know, a rock concert got their own death toll in Indonesia. But this is what happened about occupation. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I have to share with you, this is about the identity of Palestinians. You know, I am close to the ambassadors of Palestine in Jakarta and also the previous ones. What happened if somebody from the other side, from Hamas, know that I am close to those officials from Fatah's side, said, oh, they will make a distance with me in communication. Oh, come on. When I'm dealing with Palestinians, I don't know whether he is Hamas or Fatah or any other faction in Palestine. No. I treat you as Palestinian, as human being. So this is another implication of occupation. Indonesian people had a very long experience with occupation. We were under the occupation of Dutch colonization more than 3.5 centuries. And one point that changed us is to build a national identity. This is not what happened in Palestine. What we have to help them, as what Professor Pape calls us, there has to be a strong push, strong effort from international community to stop Zionism, to extend their occupation, and to help Palestinians establish their own identity as a Palestine people, not as Hamas, not or as Fatah people. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a closing, maybe we don't have any optimistic of Oslo, but we can still have a pray. What I suggest, firstly, we call all Palestinians to re-establish their national identity as Palestine people. Secondly, regarding to what Professor Pape said, international communities, the media, the academician, even the politician, parliaments, scholars, religious leaders can stick together to make a significant effort to push Zionism. You know, in Indonesia, I and my team, I come with one of the outstanding ulama from Indonesia, Mr. Yakshallah Mansur. he is an outstanding ulama in Indonesia. He promoting that what happened in Palestine is not a war between Muslim and Jews. No. It is Zionism, the destructive ideology that push Israeli people behave that way. And lastly, I would like to call all people who has hope and religion to pray for Palestine and Palestinian people to immediately get independence. Thank you very much for your concern.